Hello fashionistas, you are welcome to Joydala Fashion Guide. Today is your first time coming across this channel. You are welcome. My name is Giwari Joy Ighodala, aka Joydala. In this channel, we do everything about fashion, from pattern drafting, calculations, sewing, and all of that, even cutting and all of that. We also do some part of crocheting. Okay, so for those who want to learn how to crochet, I am your one-stop blog. Now for this month of August, we have classes. We have beginners classes. We also have crochet class. We are introducing our crochet class. I'm going to be putting a course outline for you to see what it is all about. And then we have the beginners class. And of course, we have other classes that may interest you. I'll put in the information later. So I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to all my subscribers. We have gotten to 2,000. We have just crossed 2,000. I want to say thank you very, very much for your support. Thank you for the comments so far, for those who have suggested videos, for the ones I have made. There are some that I've made already, and there are some that are still on the pipeline. Just give me some little more time. And then there is anything you want to learn as a beginner, you can suggest it below in the comment section, and then we consider making a video on it. So I want to use this opportunity once more to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all those who have been encouraging me, giving me likes, comments, sharing my video. All those who have been sharing my video, I want to say thank you very, very much. Now in today's video, I'm going to be doing a video on how to make an off-shoulder free gown. Okay, it's going to be a knee-length gown, an A-line shape or A-line kind of shape, and then it's going to have a base sleeve. Now for this gown, I'm going to be using 3 yards of fabric. I'll use 2 yards for the main body, and then for the sleeve, we are going to be using 1 yard. Now without further ado, let's go to the drafting table, and then I'll just show you how to draft the dress. That's of fabric for the main body, and then this 1 yard is for the sleeve. The sleeve length is going to be 40 inches, and then I add 1 inch for seam. Excuse me. Now this is folded into 2. It's 2 yards. Now I'm going to show you how to fold this. I'm not going to be folding like this in the normal way. Okay, I'm going to be cutting it like a bias form, so I'm going to slant it a bit. So instead of folding, I'm cutting the front and the back together, so I will not be folding like it. Instead, I will be slanting it a bit like this. Okay. So from this down part, I'm going to measure the length of my dress. It's going to be an off shoulder. It's going to be 4 inches off. So you can do the inch that is okay for you, 4 or 5 inches. So from this down part, I'm going to take the length of my dress. So from here, this is where I have 41. Okay, so this is where I have 41, and then I want to have 4 inches off. So from here, I'm going to mark the inches that I want off. So remember, this is the full length of the dress, okay? And it's going to be an off shoulder. So you mark whatever inches off that you want, if it is 4 or if it is 5 inches. So assuming it is 5 inches, just place it from this beginning point and mark 5 inches off like this. So that by the time you place your 5 inches here, and then you take your tape down, you will get the full length of your dress. So there are 2 ways you can take your full length. It is either from the down, you mark, you get your full length minus the number of inches off. So if, for example, 40 inches in length minus 5 inches off, that will be 35. And then plus 1 inch seam allowance for the down, that will be 36. So from the down part like this, you can just mark 36 inches. Or from the down part, you measure the full length of the dress. And then before you now mark the number of inches you are taking off. So whichever way you want to do it is still okay. So this is now my chest line. So on this chest line, you want to make sure that you have quarter of your bust circumference. The bust circumference I'm working with is 10 inches. So you want to make sure that at this point you have quarter of your bust circumference plus seam allowance. So right now I have 11 and quarter, not up to 11 and a half, and my bust circumference is 10 inches. So I have seam allowance. So after marking, so here like this, you can just go ahead and mark your bust, quarter of the bust. Then you can, if you want some ease, you can decide to add some ease to it, like so. Okay, and then remember, this part is off. This part is off. So you determine the neckline of the off shoulder. When it comes to neckline of off shoulder, there are different ways you can get your neckline. One way to get your neckline is to use the bust span measurement, the bust span. You use half of the bust span plus 1. So if, for example, your bust span is 8 inches, half of that will be 4, and then you add 1 inch to that, and that will be 5 inches. Another way you can also take the width of your neckline for your off shoulder is just to simply measure where you want it to be. From here, one armhole here to the other armhole, just to simply measure. Okay, and then another way you can also do it is to use half of your shoulder measurement minus 2. So if your shoulder measurement, for example, is 8 inches, then you want to subtract 2 from that, and that will be 6. So whichever one you prefer, you can always use it as the width of your off shoulder neckline. Remember that the off shoulder is going to be around your body like this. Okay, so another way again is also to take your round body measurement. You take your round body measurement, you subtract the sleeve part of it, and then whatever is remaining, you divide it by 2. Right now, my bust, if you forget to measure, another thing you can use is the hip circumference. The hip circumference can also go as the round body measurement. So there are different ways you can calculate your neckline. Okay, and then for the sleeve, most times for me I use 8 inches. So that means from here to here. You can as well measure. Okay, to here, you measure what you have. Okay, so you can simply measure what you have. So those are the different ways you can get your neckline. Okay, so for me, I'm going to use 6.5, which will put me here, and then add ½ inch to that. That will be 7. So I mark my 7 inches here, and then at that point I'll place my tape to be 4 inches off, and then I mark the armhole depth, which is 8 inches. So this is my armhole depth line. This line. So on this line, I'll mark quarter of my bust circumference. Quarter of my bust circumference. So if you don't want it too tight, you can decide to add ease allowance to that. And then I'll just connect. It's not going to be, the armhole will not be too deep, so I will use this side of the armhole curve. So I'll place it like this and just connect like this. So that is just all for the neckline. From here, you can cross check before cutting. This is 4 inches off, and then I have my full length. So if I want to cut, I'm going to cut here, here, here. Now the neckline is going to have an elastic casing. So before I cut, I'm going to add the allowance for the elastic casing. So you can add between 1 or 1.5, depending on the type of elastic you want to use, if it is 1/2 inch elastic or if it is 1 inch elastic. Note, I later used just 1/2 inch for the same allowance for the elastic casing, and then use a different fabric to cut the elastic casing. So instead of using a continuous, instead of continuing with the neckline here, because I realized that it was not aligned well when I folded it down, because it's wider down compared to the top. So I use a different fabric for that. So that you cross check everything, that everything is okay. Check where your hip will be, if you have enough for the hip and so on. So it's already okay, so I just cut. So this is what we have. So we'll blend this space in later. So you go ahead and cut here open. So this is what we have. So you can just blend at this point. So from here, you can just stick it. And then if you want pockets, you mark where the pockets will be. So from this armhole, you just come down by 9 inches and mark it. Okay, so from here you mark 9 inches. So this is where my pocket will be. The pocket opening can be 7 inches. So the next thing, I'm going to cut out the sleeve. The first part of the sleeve is going to be 7 inches, while the other part will be 8 inches. The flare part of the sleeve will be 8 inches. So I'm going to be cutting both sleeves together. So what I'm going to do, this is a yard. Just fold it into 2. And then I'm going to cut the part. I'm going to cut the upper part first. So I'll measure what I have here. I have 22 and a half, so it's going to be enough. So I folded into 2 and then I fold again. That's now into 4. So remember the off that you have, and then if it is 4 inches, you mark it. If it is 5 inches, you mark it. I'm using 4 inches off, which will be here, and I'll add same allowance. Okay, and then from there we'll now have our curve. Okay, so alternatively, you just place this one on it to cut it. So I'm going to determine my length from here, 7 inches, and then I need seam allowance to fold it down. That will be 8. And then we also need elastic casing, which is another 1.5, which will make a total of so let's say 1.5 plus 1 inch to fold it down, that will be 2.5. So 7 plus 2.5, that will give us 9.5. Okay, so you can go for 9.5. You can also just mark 10 inches. So I'll just mark 10 inches. So this is where I'm going to cut. I'm drafting both sleeves together. So after cutting like this, I'll just place this on it like this. And then I'll cut it open. That is just the easiest way to do it, so that both of them will blend together. So the next part of the sleeve now is the bare part. The bare part. So to determine the bare part, you just mark your bicep circumference, your bicep round. That's what's going to be here, because this upper part is going to stop around here. So just measure what you have there. Measure it round like this. I have 12. If you want some ease, you can always add ease. Okay, so into 2, that will be 6 inches. And then I'll add ½ inch for ease. That is 6.5. So I'll mark, this is 6.5, and then here I'll put 1.5 inch seam allowance, or 2 inches seam allowance. 1.5 is okay. And then from here I'll just curve it this way, make a slant like this. Then I cut here off. straight. So the next thing now is to cut the bell. So remember, the bell, the circumference, the radius of the bell now will be 6.5. So I'll pick what is left. It's not going to be a half circle. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm cutting both sleeves together. So I'll just take, you see, it's like this. So this is into 2. And then I'll just take this and place it like a triangle like this. So remember, my radius is already 6. It's already 6.5. So this is for both sleeve. This is the other side. So the best sleeve is going to be here. So what you have here, you look for where you have it here. That is the easiest way to do it. So just try to get your curve. So this is my curve. So let's see what A to give us. Then you check like this if you will get it. Okay, so I'll be able to get it. So I'm going to add seam allowance here. Okay, and then the next thing, you get the length of the flare. So for me, my length is going to be 8 inches. So the length depends on where you want the flare to get to. Here you mark the length of your flare plus seam allowance to fold it down. So we'll go ahead and cut it out. So now I mark the wrong side of the dress of the fabric. So this is for both sleeve. So I'm going to cut here open. So when you are marking your radius here, remember to add seam allowance to it. So when you mark the 6.5 plus half-inch seam allowance, because you need seam allowance to join the side of the sleeve, so remember to do that. So the next is to cut the pocket. So for the pocket, I'm going to use this part. Just fold it to two like this. And mark the depth of the pocket. Should be like 10 inches deep. So that will give us like 20. So I'll just use this for the pockets. So I'll iron it to smoothen out the fabric, and then I'll trim if there is any need. So that's just all for the cutting, and then to sew is very easy. This is the front and the back. Excuse me. For the neckline, you can determine how you want your neckline to be. Okay, if you want it to be a bit curved, you can curve out your neckline. So you just join the side with 1 inch seam allowance, then you join the sleeve. This will be here. You can do them separately. You can join this to this, then join this to this. Remember, it's going to be a continuous neck. You're going to fold the neckline continuously. You're going to fold it like this to create the elastic casing. So you just place it on it like this. Sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Repeat same for this side, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then you do same for the other side. And then we are going to fold the top. Remember, we have 1.5, so you fold it down 1.5, and then inside with 1/2 inch or 3/4 to have a space that the elastic is going to pass through. And then we attach our bed sleeve, our bed. So we're going to attach this to this part. So we're going to join here first. We join here and then we attach this to this part. You see why I added extra to it. So I'm going to recut this place because of seam allowance that is needed to join here so that it can fit in. Okay, so that was why I extended the down part. So I'm going to make sure that it fits in and then join this side. Then you can just use cutting bias to fold in the down. You don't need lining for this, but if you want to use lining, you can use lining, but I'm not going to use lining. Just use cutting bias to fold it down. So I'll repeat same for the other side. And then for the pocket, we cut out the place for the pocket. We notched it earlier. So this is for one pocket. It's going to be like this. So this is the right side. So right side against right side. Against the right side here, like this. You stitch. Then you do same for this other side. Right side against right side like this. So it's going to be like this. So when we are sewing, coming like this, we go into the pocket, close it up. We come here again like this, into here. So we'll be safe for the other pockets. And then you just fold it down. You have 1 inch to fold it down, so you smooth. So this is what we have after sewing the sleeve. You join the sleeve together, and then I'm joining to the bodice. I've left this part so that we can do the casing for the elastic. So it's better for you to create a different casing for the elastic, because if you watch from here to here, it's smaller than this part, so it may be difficult for you to fold it. So if you intend to fold, to use the fabric as a casing for the elastic, then you have to make it straight upward. Okay, you have to create it straight so that you'll be able to fold it. So I've gone ahead to cut out strip that can match the neckline. You see, I've cut it in a curved manner. So I've folded here with the seam allowance, with 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to be joining. I'll place this right side against each other. I'll place it on it like this, and then I'll stitch it with 1/2 inch seam allowance, after which I will now flip it inside and then fold it with 1/2 inch, and then I have my 1 inch casing. So I'll do this separately, and then I'll also do the sleeve separately. So I'm going to be, so if you like, when you are through with that, you can now stitch all together. Okay, you can now stitch it as one piece, then leave a space at the middle where you will pass the elastic through, so that you will have one elastic strip for the sleeve. And this is for the neckline. So we have 2 for the sleeve. So once we are through with the sleeve, once we are through with the neckline, then we insert our elastic. We go ahead to fix the pocket. We made a notch at the waistline, so we just fix the pocket. We place right side against right side like this. This is the right side. Place it on it like this, and then we'll stitch it. Then you flip this to this other side and also stitch this to this part. So once you are through with that, you now pick your stitch from here, go into the pocket to close it, and then you come from the pocket again to the main body and close it. So we'll do same for the other pockets, and then we check our length and fold it down accordingly. If it is too long, you can always trim it off. So that is all. I'll show you the final look when I wear it. This is Joydala Fashion Guide. Thanks for watching. One more thing, sorry. For this sleeve area, I'm going to complete it with a cutting bias. So I'll start from the right side. I'll sew from the right side. I'll place it on it like this and go around. Then when I'm through, I'm going to flip it to the other side, under stitch, and then stitch it down. That is how I'm going to finish up this part. And then you go ahead and just use your overlocker to lock all the stitches that needs to be locked. So that will be all for this dress. So here is the final look of our dress. The pockets. This is Joydala Fashion Guide. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share my videos. Until next time when I come your way again, bye.